Hi everybody, this is Miss Maddie here. I am at your very own Whittier Greenhouse and I want to give you a tour of the things that I have growing in there today. Can you remember when you visited the greenhouse all the way back in the fall? Was there anything growing in the garden beds in there? Can you remember what plants were growing? I wonder if I'm growing any of the same plants right now. Let's go inside and check it out. Wow, we have a lot of plants growing in here. Okay friends, the first plant I want to show you that I'm growing in the greenhouse is the radish. Have you ever had a radish before? Can you think of what a radish looks like? These are our radish plants right here. How many colors do you see on our radish plants? They're growing very quickly. Do you want to see a radish? I'll harvest one for you so you can see what they look like. Okay, here we go. A radish is a root vegetable. Do you remember learning about root vegetables? The root of the plant grows underground. See how our radish is growing under there? It's buried in the soil. So to harvest the radish, I need to pull it out of the soil. Look at all of these radishes growing under the soil. I'll harvest this one. How big do you think it's going to be? There it is. Look at that root coming off of it right here. That is the root. Can you guess what part of the radish we eat? Here's another view of our radish. This pink part right here is the part of the radish that we will eat. But unfortunately, this radish hasn't been growing long enough. Our radish should be about this big when it's ready to be eaten. That means the pink part needs to grow this much more before I can eat it. Guess I need to leave the rest of them in the ground for now. Let's see what else is growing. Have any of you ever eaten snap peas? Snap peas are one of my favorite vegetables. They grow in a little green pod and you can eat the entire thing. I'm growing some snap peas in here. Let me show you. These are the snap peas that I'm growing. They're not producing any peas yet, and that means there are no peas growing on the plant yet. All that we have so far is the stem and the leaves. Did you know that you can still eat the stem and the leaf of the snap pea even if the peas aren't growing yet? Let me show you. I'm gonna harvest this one right here. Look at that root that was under the ground. Do you know what roots are for? Roots help take water and food from the soil into the plant. They are super important to help our plants grow. I think I'm gonna eat these leaves and this stem. They're very sweet and they do taste like peas. Mmm, yummy. I'm also growing some other vegetables that I think you will be very familiar with. I'm sure you know what these ones are. Let me show you. Now you might not be able to tell what these are just yet. I'll give you a hint. They're another kind of root vegetable. That means they grow under the soil. So the part that we eat is under the soil right now. We can't even see it. These are baby carrot sprouts. They will probably need about 30 or even 60 more days under the soil. That's a lot of days. I'll have to keep updating you about how they grow. Should we see what they look like right now? I think I'll harvest this one and we can see if there's a carrot in the root yet. Doesn't look like there's a carrot. Like I said, they're gonna take a little bit longer before they start showing up like carrots. How many of you like to see sunflowers growing in the summer? Sunflowers are one of my favorite flowers, so I made sure that I grew a lot in the greenhouse this year. Do you want to see what they look like when they're still young? There's our sunflower plant. What part of the plant is growing right now? Do you see a flower on there? I don't see any flower, but I see a stem and some leaves. Let's count the leaves together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 leaves on our sunflower plant. I wonder how many leaves there will be on our plant when I check back next week. How many do you think there will be? Another yummy plant that I'm growing is something that you can put into a salad. Do you know what a salad is? It looks like a bunch of green leaves that you can eat. You can add tomatoes or you can add sunflower seeds. Let me show you what some baby lettuce plants look like. They're not what you would expect. Here's our lettuce plant. And here's a picture of my thumb for size reference. Is that very big? Could that fill a whole salad bowl? Not yet. It's still very young. It's going to need a few more weeks to grow and grow before we can harvest it and put it in a salad. Now, boys and girls, do you remember when I brought beets into our class? Remember we used beet paint to decorate some artwork that we made? I'm growing beets in the greenhouse, but they do not look like the beets that I brought into your class yet. They are still very small. I'll show you what they look like. These are the beet plants. Can you see the different colors that they have? There's some nice dark red and green leaves. Remember, the beets that we used in your class were also dark red, and some of them were even purple. The paint that we made out of the beets was a beautiful purple color. These beets aren't big enough for me to harvest yet. Just like the carrots, they're going to take a lot longer to grow. There are also a bunch of other plants growing up on this shelf. We have some peppers and some flowers, some parsley, which is an herb that's used to flavor food, more peppers, some kale, some yummy basil. If I rub my finger on the basil leaf and then smell it, that smells delicious. We have some squash plants, more peppers, and some borage plants that are going to produce beautiful flowers. Over here, I have arugula, which is another kind of green leafy vegetable, some spinach, and some more baby kale. I also am growing some beans. Look at those big leaves on there. Why do I have sticks in my bean pot? When the beans grow, they will start to cling on to the sticks and they'll climb them up, up, and up. I'll be sure to show you as they grow. And down here, we have some tomato plants. that I used toilet paper rolls to plant in. Can't wait till those tomatoes start producing juicy, sweet fruits for us. I hope you enjoyed this tour of the greenhouse. I'm going to be sure to film more tours throughout the next few weeks so that even though you're not at school, you can still watch the plants grow. Before I leave for the day, I need to water the plants. Do you want to watch me? Here we go.